that's what we're going for in the art itself. I'm a big I mean, I have a background in the arts. I've got a master's of fine arts, so it's really important to me to try to make it as good as I can make it. So I've been working really closely with a few different people to make that happen. Yeah, so I mean, in terms of that, that's what we have going on for the art. But in terms of the roadmap and the vision, just trying to build a community where we can bring all these or bring a lot of people who have common experiences together. Um, those who appreciate art and like these, and try to build a bigger community across the space. So I'm excited to try to get some collaborations going. Um, we have some worlds in the metaverse. We're working with Leap In, so that's where we're driving in the long term. So working with some animators to get some rough drafts going. Those are going pretty well. Um, but yeah, I mean that's the gist of what we're going for. Just like I said, the intersection of art and creativity and how it impacts or how it's impacted by trauma and mental health.
I love that. I love that. Real quick, I just want to say, because I always keep forgetting to say this, and I'm always reminded, but this is all just informative and learning about the space. None of this is financial advice. And then if you guys have to drop off, I will be recording this so we can put it in our Discord so our listeners can
Cool.
listen if they didn't make it. But to touch on what you were speaking on, so one thing that I
Oh, I just
noticed.
saw a one of the G balls enter. Hey Lex, I've got one of those too, man. I'm a huge fan of the G balls. I love their art.
Yeah, G-Balls are cool. I tried minting them. I was obviously not able to get one, but yeah, G-Balls are super dope. Um,
Yeah,
about your backstory, so I was reading on your website, so there's some reference to Wilhelm Flies. Is that how you pronounce it?
right. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I always kind of say it with a vampire accent, so Wilhelm Fleiss is like how I like to say it. But yeah, he was a colleague of Freud's. Really super interesting times, and I like it too in terms of the current space because we're just right on the edge of a paradigm shift in finance. Decentralize everything, and so there's all these ideas going on. Everybody is just going crazy with it. Last, and there's some that are not going to last, and then there's some bad players that are going to do things with it that you know uh, everybody wishes they wouldn't. But so like that was a time where psychology and psychiatry were just coming into fruition, and the same sort of thing. Like there were all these ideas, and of course you have Freud, who was enormous and still is, and did lots of great things. But there were ideas and theories that didn't pan out, and this one guy, Wilhelm Fleiss, was a colleague of Freud's, and Freud actually called him the what was it the Kepler of biology. So he thought this guy's great, but he went on to retract that, and Wilhelm Fleiss is considered a pseudoscientist now, and everything. Pretty much everything he theorized has been debunked. Um, but so he thought there was a connection between sexuality and nasal cavities. Obviously, that's a pretty big jump, but he thought it was supported by Freud, and so he started doing these operations on people's nasal cavities, and obviously really messed people up, left people with caved in faces and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I've got a background in creative writing, and so I kind of took the story and I ran with it, because I also have a background in basically in mental health and in the arts, and so I kind of saw an opportunity there, and I took some liberties with it, and I just had him as a character, like kind of historical fiction. I took his story and I changed it a bit, and instead of operating on nasal cavities, I had him operating on vocal cords for people who sounded sad and were depressed and things like that, and so he basically, or this character in his stead, said, okay, well, instead of you know, living with this. We're just going to do a little operation, and we're going to put a zipper in you, and you can then take these handy dandy little brooms I've manufactured, and you can sweep off your vocal cords anytime you start sounding too sad. So that's actually where the idea for the art originates. But yeah, so Fleiss and Freud, they were, again, it's pretty similar. I mean, you just have these points in history where new ideas and paradigm shifts are happening, and we're at one now. And it seemed kind of applicable, or it seems kind of applicable to what's going on in a way. But yeah, I mean that's the background in a nutshell.
It does, yeah. I mean, I love when projects relate real life stories to their art. I think that's super cool.
Cool,
We
awesome.
got Kenny here as a requested to be a speaker. What's going on, Kenny? Do you have something to add?
Yeah, I'm just a representative for Rug Tech. Um, I think we're supposed to have like a Space Poggers space today, but something got messed up. But I just decided to come through and talk our shit anyway. just cause, yeah, just cause. But I was kind of like honestly just lost in whatever outcomes was talking about. I kind of got lost. I heard that somebody was fucking with people's nasal cavity, and then got confused. So
Yeah, sure. Sorry, you cut off for a little bit, so I missed it. So you got confused by what the narrative behind the art, or
yeah, I just got lost in the conversation on
yeah, I mean, well, I
yeah.
mean that's only part of what we've got going on. But yeah, I was just trying to. Foxy had asked about kind of the story behind the art, so I was just summing that up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just like I thought you were telling like a real story or
Oh
I
right,
didn't.
well no, so that's the thing. Like the real story was this guy operated on people's nasal cavities. Like he took their noses off essentially, and operated on them and messed people up, and thought he was legit. So I just took that story and ran with it and switched it up a little bit. So some of the aspects in these in our NFTs show that.
Kenny, I just wanted you said about poggers, space poggers. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know where if I messed up on the confusion or something, but I was looking in the DMs and that we have them for Sunday at 12. They'll be joining a space.
Okay, Sunday at 12. All
Yeah,
right, word.
but I mean, you're down to hang around and talk about it if you want to be if you want to talk about anything here as well. We're missing our other guests, so we can add you on here if you want.
Yeah, I just want to talk about how like Rug Tech, and you see it with Space Poggers. We actually have like 10 to 14 different projects, and we're like really doubling down on dynamic NFTs. In fact, like I would say it goes beyond dynamic NFTs. We have what's called quantum metadata, and if you go to a Space Pogger and refresh the metadata on it, it's like a little application where you can play around and change the traits of your NFT. It was an actual rug. It had like a color and fiber density and um, the floor color and the wall color. So people were trading them off of rarities, and like that was one of their genesis projects. Is like they pulled the rugs on us. Like they took the rugs away first of all, and then they brought them back, and then they changed them to punks. And the idea was rarity didn't matter. It's just basically how cool your fucking tech is. And so like Space Poggers, of course, they still have rarity, but the customizers, it's just a layer of tech that nobody else is doing. And we're doing the same thing with Blaze Cats. Um, and Doji Crew, especially like it's really helpful for NFT collections that need additional information, like some of these NFT collections with associated tokens. Like our Doji Crew displays how much tokens those dojis own. Um, and yeah, as far as I know, we're the only people that are doing uh, basically web applications on chain like that. Directly on OpenSea, you can play with the stuff on OpenSea. So, uh, very, very cool stuff. We got 14 different projects. You guys should join our Discord at discord.gg/rughub to come check us out.
Definitely. I'll make you a guest speaker here real quick so you can plug any links that you have here so you can put it up on here. And while you do that, I just want to ask a couple questions for Outcomes. So regarding your team, so I want to give a shout out to your team if any of them want to jump up as speakers as well. And I'll make you a co-host as well. I thought I already did. So you can post links here. So there's a lot of lazy lions on your team, and we got Braven, who's one of our active members, who's also a lazy lion. So would you want to break down who your team is and what you guys have been doing from the beginning?
Sure. Pico Pyro is our main dev. He's one of the devs on Leap Into. He's awesome. He runs a team of 10 devs themselves, so super professional. Knows his stuff and isn't wrong, especially in terms of minting, but also in terms of making the art come out right and getting everything right and not messing with people. But man, we have a lot of cool people. A couple animators, Blurry, and Wells have come on. Blurry's done art for a lot of projects. And Mars, he's right here. Mars has I think he does a lot of stuff with Facebook now, and has worked with big brands in the past. Let's see, Target and some of the Western European brands out there. I can't. I'm thinking of one. I can't remember how to pronounce it. But yeah, we've got them. Tomato is kind of on and off. She's busy, but she's a lion too. Who else? Nicholas is down there. He's a super cool, awesome dev himself, and is helping us out in a number of ways, and including a pretty badass treasure hunt we've got coming up. And then we've got some, I guess you would call them influencers within the music space. People have written songs for one of the biggest bands in American history. He's in there, and we have several people who are kind of icons within that space. So we've got them helping us out. So the art is top notch. The creativity is cool, and otherwise we've just got people who are dedicated and who are in it and who are here to stay. So we're not going anywhere.
You touched on the treasure hunt, which I had questions for here in the show. But Mars, I put her up as speaker. What's going on, Mars?
Hey, what's happening? Thanks for having us. Yeah, it's funny you just said that. V was touching on how. Hold up, I got some audio playing in the background over here. V was touching on how I've worked with brands and stuff in the past. Currently, and I'm an animator, and for the most part, currently, I've been working on promotional type stuff, things that we can put up, things that we can put up on our Twitter, stuff like that. But we are working on a treasure hunt that we're going to have coming up soon, and it's in just the very early stages, but we're hoping, very soon to actually launch one, and we'll have more details on that coming up. So yeah, coming from mostly advertising background, so it's kind of in the wheelhouse, promotional type stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I guess I can ask this question first, and then this also goes for Kenny. So Mars and then Outcomes. What got you into the NFT space? What was the project that drew you in, and what kept you into the space?
Well, for me, it was it wasn't one project; it was the whole space. And I've been in crypto for a long time, really. Not that long, but a few years, and have dealt with investments my whole life, but was always have a background in the arts, and so went from there to crypto, and saw the potential there, and then basically heard about NFTs and got into it. And I was like, oh my god, I can take investments and also get into the arts and combine them, and it was just perfect. And I was like, this is just right for me. So I got in and dug around and started looking into some projects, and I bought really bad projects when I first started because I just kind of FOMO'd my way in. And I was like, oh man, I don't know anything about what's going on. And kind of learned by, just diving in and things like that. And then, I got to learn more about it. And, let's see, one of the first ones was it on one chain? I can't remember actually how to pronounce that. On chain, of course, there's Basie and the Punks, and I got into the Lions. I discovered them just a week after they minted. Was part of the Discord and stuff like that, and then I just gradually went from there. And the whole time I was thinking, I've been trying to find a way to. I mean, I've been an artist for most of my life, and I've published things nationally and internationally. I've played. I've given readings in England. I've played music at different places and just never really made any money off of it. But it didn't matter really. I mean, I loved it, and so I did it, and I can't help but do it. And so I was like, oh, this is perfect. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take a character from my story and I'm going to go for it.
I love
and then
that.
I started, then I started finding all these awesome people in the space, and I was like, this is great. And it just keeps getting better and better.
I agree. I definitely agree. Dentaverse jumped in here as well. Just want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you for coming in. But I want to give Kenny a chance to talk about his background here real quick about what got you in the NFT space and what kept you in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like outcomes, I was into crypto, so I knew about crypto, and people started asking me about NFTs. I didn't buy one until the Bathe and Ape drop, and I bought it because my brother-in-law was actually one of the artists who did it, and it dropped on Mintable. And so I bought it, and that was my first NFT. I paid like crazy gas for it, like more than $100 in gas. And then I looked at the OpenSea collection, and I just realized that it was horribly marketed. Like they basically just dropped it and forgot it, right? Like no information on OpenSea, no Twitter, like not like they didn't do it right. So I just started diving in and was like, okay, like how do I sell this thing first of all? Is my thought. And so I just started like looking at how people were selling NFTs, like how I wanted to position myself in the space. I dug into Decentraland, and I would say that's the moment when I understood the value of NFTs. Because I just imagined being able to display my NFT in my own little apartment and being actually able to use it. And that's when I started collecting heavy, because I had a vision of having a gallery in Decentraland with like all this dope art from the new art renaissance. And so like I really just started focusing on like not even these generatives, but just people, finding people that you like and like doubling down on them, helping them, helping them get their confidence, even showing them the value of their own work. It's really, really dope. I only recently kind of got into the generatives, but even those are like, it's about the community rather than the art a lot of the times. So, I mean, I love what this space has done for me. It's just made me look at art in a totally different way. It allowed me to collect art that, I was always interested, but nobody knows how, so uh, yeah, I fell in love, and I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm here ready for whatever bear market is coming. Like I hope this is the last of it, but crypto, how it goes. But yeah, I plan on being here for a long time.
Same. I agree. Similar to you, what kept me was the community, the people. Everything's mostly positive right now. I mean, talking to you guys, you, Kenny, Outcomes, Tensorverse, like everyone we've talked to is super welcoming and helpful in what we have to ask them for any questions. I just want to welcome Tensorverse. I didn't give you a chance to talk. How's it going? Good to see you again.
Gang, yes. Thank you for having us, Foxy. Always a pleasure. Much apprecited.
Have you
How's
been?
everything going?
Everything's been great. How have you been since last time we spoke? Anything new?
Oh man, it's been nuts. It's been so nuts. Like I just realized today, right? It's kind of nasty, but I just realized today I was sitting there. I'm like, I haven't showered in 4 days. Like that's, you know what I mean? I'm like that. That's how you know you're working on a project. Like holy shit, I've been sitting here looking at a computer screen for like 18 hours a day. I need to do something, change of scenery. And when a shower is a change of scenery, you know you're not in a good headspace.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I see Kat and Poppy's in here as well. Good to see you guys again. Anything regarding your project, any alpha we can give the listeners here?
Yeah, definitely. Just in terms of like what the project is, or just updates, things like that. Because I
Yeah,
know
just
we talked
updates.
last time. I just don't want to be redundant.
No worries. No, just updates. And there's a lot of new people here. So if you want to just do a quick little bio about your project as well, so Kenny and Outcomes can learn about that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just give the quick spiel. So basically, we're a world building project. We're woman led by our amazing artist here, Kat, who's a listener. She's absolutely killing it. So we have a collection of 6,666 generative art pieces, or avatars that are derived from over 300 traits at this point. So art gen has been a bit of a bitch, pardon my French. And we also have 10 basically like these lady boss 101s that are all custom drawn by Kat, and they sort of wield the most power and obviously rarity in the Tentaverse. So we're kind of trying to bring this like immersive sort of ever expanding storyline along with the project. So in our Discord, where you get really exclusive insights right to this stuff, we release a story every week, and with that story, we also release some multimedia. So we try to take a multimedia centric approach to everything we do. So it comes with like a 3D video animation, or it will come with like a custom piece of art from Kat. In addition to the story. So basically, as the story evolves, your character will also evolve with it throughout the roadmap. And we have some cool stuff coming up. We have an ink token that you'll be able to stake, and we're trying to gamify that a little bit too. So we basically have these sectors. When you join Discord, you have to basically pledge your allegiance to a sector. So we have this map that's got sectors, and you basically choose your faction right when you join the Discord. And there's some additional fun and community behind that, and utility there as well. So we're just trying to make it a little bit more, captivating, give it more utility than just, JPEGs. But, obviously we also love JPEGs.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, your art's I don't want to say similar, but it resembled Outcomes, which is like the kind of art that I like. I don't know how you would describe it, but I mean, it's visually appealing for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and
It's
your
like,
lore. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, it's kind of like sci-fi, right? Like dystopian type art. It's kind of what we're going for. Like alien human hybrid with
Yeah, I mean,
tentacles.
is that how you would describe it? Outcomes? How would you describe your art?
Yeah, I mean it's taken that turn to a degree. Certainly, I mean we got some some helmets, but kind of in the same way. Like we're headed towards the metaverse. We've got our worlds, and so we wound up with helmets that are kind of like based on, well, some of them are based on different connectivity, but others are based on like the game Tron and some of the old video games that were out there. So yeah, I mean we're definitely in that kind of sci-fi space to a degree. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to like I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher it. Cat could probably describe the art itself or the characteristics better than I can. I'm just, the genre it fits in is more like sci-fi.
Right. Yeah, it's cool, man.
Something that's
Yeah.
cool about you guys both. You guys have both deep backstory and lore. Outcomes. You touched a little bit about a treasure hunt coming up. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I want to so bad. But like, I mean, yeah. Well, for one thing, we're collabing with another community on it, and then just some other people from the space I'm working with who have run some of these treasure hunts. So lots of hidden things, in different websites and in different Discord servers, like not just our own. We're looking at with some of the partners. So we're trying to make it a collab at the same time it's a treasure hunt. Then hiding certain things, probably hiding some QR codes in different places, and then trying to get people to come in and just enjoy the fun of the hunt itself. Versus the end. It's one of those things where it's like the journey is more fun than the destination. But yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I'm psyched about it. We've got a few of them coming out, so we'll be posting about them and everything.
Yeah, we're always trying to learn how we can keep boosting up engagement in our community. And I mean,
Right.
I'll ask this question to all three of you, but I'll start with Kenny. Kenny, in your experience as working for different projects and just as a consumer yourself, what kind of engagement have you seen that works and helps the community just build more on top of each other?
Organic engagement, and I will say what doesn't work, because that to me is better, because like there's stuff that like kills a chat eventually, and that's like price talks. So it's like if you're like Discord or community is in there like obsessed with the price of like you guys' projects, that's gonna fade out eventually, even if it's going up. Honestly, like if you guys are talking about how fast the project is gaining and all this exciting stuff, like that's a top signal for some people to leave and sell their shit. So like I would just say like get away from the price talks and just get people talking to each other, and make it like a family, like get like stimulate people getting to know each other, get to know your community members if you're a mod. um and yeah, and just vibe, and if that vibe is there, if there's enough people to like create that vibe, I think um you're good. I think you're good. I mean, there's stuff like movies that you can do, routine schedules, stuff like this, spaces like getting people hearing each other, stimulating other senses. uh but yeah, ultimately it comes down to who is in your Discord to make that environment happen.
Yeah, I agree. Organic, what you said, is definitely the best way. Anytime there's price talks, it really does kill the vibe. I mean, it's not really all about the price. It's just about the community. So everything that you said is definitely on point. Tensiverse, you want to touch on that? Like, do you agree? Is there anything you want to add that helps boost the community?
Yeah, man. I agree with all that. I think, for us, like it was really important super early on to like curate the culture and what we wanted it to be when people join, right? So we wanted to make sure we were always super welcoming, right? We say hi to every single person that joins, no matter how busy we are, how much shit we have going on, right? We want to like take time, appreciate every person, and make them feel special. And also we want to make sure we're welcoming, and we're also female friendly. We're obviously a woman led project, so we want to make sure we're this welcoming and safe space for everybody, and not suppressing FUD. Like that's a big one for us. Whenever a project is suppressing FUD, I think that's a huge red flag. I think like for us, we want to sort of like tackle it head on and just in front of everyone, right? We want to address it, and we want to be transparent, and we want to tell everyone what's going on, and we never want to like try to shut anyone out or ban them or whatever just for asking questions. Like that's definitely not the way for us. And then we're also like very partnership oriented, right? So collabs have been really good for us. We just did a collab with like Fame Ladies. That was really awesome. We have some really, really big announcements coming up this week that we're so stoked about. We've been working so hard towards them, and it's, finally almost there at the finish line. So can't wait to announce those. But yeah, man, it's just all about, you know, creating a culture and then cultivating it, and then allowing your community to really mobilize and help you grow.
And I will say, you don't have to be friendly because the rugs are not friendly. Like, our brand is Dick/Resort for NFTs, kind of. Like, you're gonna get some cool NFTs, but like Rug himself, the man himself, can be fucking rude. But that's part of the culture, so you don't have to be, kind to set culture standard.
I was just saying, for
Yeah,
us,
exactly.
right? For us, it was just friendly and welcoming, right? We want to to create that feeling of somewhere you can go when you're having a shitty day, and people are there to talk to you, welcome you, feel like you're a part of something.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with that sometimes, because I do want to be kind and welcoming, absolutely, all the time. But then you get people in who are just, dead being assholes, and it's like, how long am I just going to be nice to this person, and at what
So
point am I real,
so I
But
understand that, right? But
yeah,
that's what that goes back to, cultivate or creating that culture. When people
yeah,
come in and they're like that, which is pretty rare for us, I'll be honest, but when they
yeah,
are, like, the whole community jumps on them,
right, yeah,
and they
totally,
kind of do the work for you,
yeah. No, it's an interesting thing though, like, because you get that on Twitter too, just with people in your comments, and it's always tempting to just, like, I don't know, go back at it, but I generally just try to ignore things like that. But
Yeah, you got to woosah. You got to woosah. Be above it.
I don't know that term. What's that?
Woosah, like
Yeah.
is that a yoga term or something? Like breathe in, woosah.
Okay. Gotcha. Right. A deep breath. Yeah.
Definitely agree. I
Yep.
mean, Matt, he's a listener. He's one of our mods, and we had a situation earlier today where we had kind of like that little minor toxic feel. So we just had to. I mean, because we're representing ourselves, we're all trying to be a brand, so we just have to approach it in the most positive way possible, because we don't want one person to just cause a whole negative outcome to our whole entire brand.
Right.
I just want to quickly introduce Lowly, who's one of our other guests. I think I might have messed up with some time zone in the DMs, but this is a different project. He's an artist. I'll let him introduce himself, but a quick little intro here. He's got over 200 million streams on Spotify, 250 million views on his music. If you want to add to that, Lowly, if you want to introduce yourself, that'd be awesome.
What's up? Thank you so much for having me, man. Sorry for being late. I think the time zone thing was on my end, but we made it happen. I appreciate you for having me on. Yeah, I'm an artist. I'm a musician, a singer-songwriter, and coincidentally, I released 2 songs today, which has been really exciting. I'm not sure if they're out anywhere else, but I'm based in Australia, and so they've been out for a few hours here. But yeah, I've been in the NFT space for probably a year and a half. I've been doing this for a minute now, and being more of a collector than anything, trying to kind of expose myself to the terminology, the infrastructure, the ecosystem, all of it, and just trying to kind of figure it out before I released my projects. I didn't want to come in here as an artist who kind of already has a little bit of a following under Jacob Lee, and come across like I was doing anything in relation to a grab or trying to take the system for a ride. I adore the NFT space, and I think, like all of us, I believe it's going to be the next frontier for creativity. And so I kind of wanted to, yeah, educate myself and learn before I started dropping projects. But now I feel like I've got the knowledge, and I mean, even though I'm still learning, I feel like I've got the basics down at least. And so I've been dropping projects left, right, and center, and working with developers and web designers and artists and everything to create some special things. So I'm not really sure which project to talk about specifically, but maybe you could kind of let me know what you're interested in.
Oh, for sure, for sure. If you want to add anything to the space, any links that you want to promote, definitely do that. If you can't do it, I might have to make you a co-host. Just let me know. But to answer your question, I know you have a bunch of projects out. You have personal parchments. You have these cards and library of lyricism. So are they all different, or are they all connected in some way?
Yeah, good question, bro. There's kind of like two different avenues that I'm taking, and so one, because I am a musician, I'm taking the music NFT route. Obviously, it's something that I feel like I have lots of ideas in, and I want to try my best to kind of create a few blueprints which artists can kind of take on board when they start taking this space seriously. You know, I've been talking to a lot of musicians, and I'm friends with plenty of them here on the Gold Coast and internationally, and I've been having conversations with most of them about the NFT space, and literally like two of them have taken me seriously. Like they just don't get it yet, and they can't see how it's all going to integrate. And despite my efforts and becoming that crazy NFT person, they still aren't there yet. So that's cool. People will jump in when they're ready, but I've obviously, like I said, noticed the potential here and have decided to, I guess, incorporate as much of my previous catalog as well as my new music that I can. So I guess briefly, I can kind of touch on the three projects that I have currently within music, and by briefly I mean briefly. Like I hate when people shill for an hour and a half. And so the first one is called the Conscience Cards. And so that was my first project I released on OpenSea. I didn't have a developer at the time. I had no idea how to create anything within a smart contract. And so my knowledge was as far as press create on OpenSea, put everything within there, and do the entire day process of doing every single NFT one by one by one. And that took quite a minute. And originally, those cards were representations of songs from my previous album called Conscience. And when you bought them, you got utility like free access to shows forever. You got early access to music. You got kind of like unlockable downloads in which you would get some music which I'm not releasing to the public, and files and downloads that I never would share with the public anyway, and stuff like that. And so I guess if you were a fan of mine, if you liked my music, then I feel like you would probably find that utility interesting. One thing I didn't realize when I released that project is 1% of my people would care. Like when I release a YouTube video or a new song or I'm going on tour, I get so much engagement. But when I talk about NFTs with them, again, just like my music friends, they didn't really get it yet. Like there were a few of them who understood, and they took the, I guess, education I was trying to put down in the Discord, and they got a digital wallet and eventually bought one of my NFTs. But to be honest, most of them still don't really understand. And so I found that my audience was a brand new one. I started talking within spaces consistently, and and developed, I guess, more not even like a listener base, more of just friends and relationships and networks that want to help support my NFTs. And so I found that 98% of purchases from that first collection were Web3 people, NFT people. And I love that. Like, that's the reason for this lowly account. It's so I can go all day talking about NFTs and no one can tell me to shut up. Because if I talk on Jacob Lee, I guarantee there'll be a number of people who are just saying, you've moved into this space, like you don't care about like what you were doing in the past, like you've changed, blah blah blah. And it's like, no, this is just an addition. You know what I mean? Like an addition to what I'm trying to accomplish here creatively. And I guess I will kind of open it up to the room before I kind of continue, because again, I'm pretty conscious of going too long. But I guess
Yeah, I've got a question. So I kind of saw, but I was looking at some of the cards earlier today of yours, and I thought they were pretty awesome. But so are you selling your songs in addition to like your lyrics or things like that? Did I see something like that where maybe there was some writing involved?
Yeah, no, you're correct. You got it. So my
Yeah.
plan within the whole NFT space is realizing that no longer do I only have to release music videos and songs. Like, yes, I can put out content of whatever I want on Instagram and Twitter and everything like that. But at the end of the day, like the primary pieces of content are music videos, maybe some live sessions, just videos in general on YouTube, and mastered WAV files, which would go on DSPs. obviously NFTs, you can do whatever you want. And so I'm trying to fractionalize my content and my music. And so I've created Lowly's library of lyricism, which isn't out yet. And that is beautifully constructed or designed lyric sheets from previous songs I've released. And so instead of going to like, Google and typing in Jacob Lee Oceans or whatever song of mine, and then going and finding it on Genius or on the front page, whatever, that was kind of like the extent in which you would consume lyrics apart from listening to them. And I felt as though that we put, or, a lot of people with lyrics and stories in music, we put fucking years into creating these stories, And so like, I felt like people aren't appreciating the lyricism and the actual packaging of the lyrics, And so I decided to create a collection called Lowly's Library of Lyricism, and start creating all of these different lyric sheets with rarities. So you can mint them from a website. I'm lucky enough to have found a dev about 3 weeks ago, and we've been working pretty closely on creating like a Web3 website for myself. And just like anything, like a generative project, you can go press mint, you can choose the quantity 1 to 20, and you will get a randomly generated lyric sheet from one of my songs in the past. And you might get like a limited edition golden one that has all the text, which is like engraved and beautiful and shiny. Or you might get one that looks like it's in tatters. You might get one that looks like it's been in an envelope, like, just different designs.
I just had to say too real fast. My I'm hearing about 80% of what people are saying. For some reason, my connection's cutting out. So just a disclaimer. I don't. In case somebody asks me something, but yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'll go through 400 drafts on a piece of writing, like no joke. And people don't understand, how what that process, or a lot of people don't. Some people do, which is what's cool about this space. But yeah, I get it 100%. I think your project is super cool.
Thank you, man.
I wanted to chime in. I know ArcDev as a speaker, so I'll get to you here in a quick second. But just regarding your music, I was listening to it for a couple of days now because I'm preparing you for a guest. My favorite song is Demons. I love that song. But what's super cool is that on your Spotify, you're wearing a Bored Ape hoodie, because I know you have an ape. So which is really cool seeing someone wearing an ape hoodie on Spotify with as many views as you have. I thought that was crazy. Did you do that on purpose to try to promote the NFT space when you did that?
Yeah, kinda. I feel like it was a little bit of a head nod to anyone who knew what it was. And so like on Spotify, you can't obviously like have any caption within those header images. And I just thought it would be fun to put that on there. And anyone who knows what the Bored Ape Yacht Club is or NFTs are, they'll be like, holy shit, like he could only have that hoodie if he had an ape. And I feel like within this space, at least, you do tend to get some notoriety for owning NFTs of that caliber, I guess, And dude, I was just lucky, man. I bought it for like $2,000 way back. So I swear I just got lucky by hearing him talking about it on Clubhouse, and I love the conviction. And, and I've just held it since then.
Nice.
That's insane. That's so crazy. ArcDev, I want to give you a chance to speak up if you had anything to say.
Hey, yeah, very sorry for being late. The person who runs our social media just pinged me. And yeah, just want to apologize.
Oh, no worries. For NFTWorlds, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm one of the co-creators of NFTWorlds.
Awesome. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of questions for you. Just want to say something with Lally real quick because Lally was a little late too.
Sure.
So I don't know if you knew Lally, but regarding your music, if you want to just touch on the genre that you perform, so people who don't know your music can know. But apparently, my wife knew about your music for a long time because your song "Chariot" is apparently trending on TikTok. I don't know if you knew that. That's crazy though.
Oh shit! Is it? No way.
Yeah. I was playing your music. I was listening to it for a couple of days, and then she walked by, and she's like, "Oh, I know that song," and it was "Chariot." But yeah, I guess it's all over TikTok right now.
That's insane, man. Like that's the one social media out of all of them which I haven't tapped into, and like it sucks, man, because I feel like nowadays I try and position myself, and this is so self-proclaimed, but by someone who can kind of see what the next social media trend is. And so I was on Spotify like right at the start. I was on YouTube right at the start. Like I've been kind of good with jumping on Discord prior to any artist was using it, but I fully missed TikTok. Like I thought it was stupid as fuck, and so I actually got approached by a TikTok representative way back early days, and they were like, "We've had this platform; it's been around, for a while. I think they might have got it from Musically or something like that." And they were like, "Hey, like we're doing some feature programs. It'd be cool if you wanted to chat." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, man, whatever." And I never like followed it up, and the rest is history. But I guess because of that experience, I just continuously put TikTok off, and that was a bad choice. But it's good to hear that like my songs are making their way through the platform there. I did not know that. Yeah. But I will quickly say, because you did ask the question as to what my genre is, it's more pop alternative, very lyrical, obviously. That's, I would say, my priority. It's something that I really do, I focus on. I feel as though, in my opinion, language, even though I'm limited to English, when you do find a song which has a very established, well thought out, thought provoking lyric, it does attach to you in a way that a lot of music doesn't. And so I've been told by heaps of people in the industry to calm my lyrics down, like to stop being this emotive, this visceral, this I guess what even, like, just so wordy. They're like, just take like half of them out, find one or two hooks that you want to repeat, and you'll probably see far more success. And I immediately shut off from that conversation. Like, I am open to constructive criticism, but I feel like for me, with my experience of having a various level of success and going on tour through America and Europe and all of these places, what I see in the eyes of people who do kind of enjoy my music and have listened to it for a while, there's something in there that they feel that I've assisted them in some way, and that's my intention now, because I've realized that after touring, is that lyrics and music and storytelling can help people. And so when I'm told by the labels and managers to do something that might be a little bit more on trend, I just find that I tend to switch off with that, and just continue pushing along with my truth and my authenticity, because I think it does shine through within social media, like not even just music. Like I bought a Foxy, by the way. I got one months ago. And so I've been looking at your project, and I've been looking at a whole bunch of others that I've been jumping on board with. And yes, I've been rugged like 4 times. But apart from that, I feel as though you can sense the authenticity within a project, and whether it's going to be long term from the get-go, just by going into the community, looking at whether the devs are anonymous or not, if they're active within the community themselves. And I feel as though people do have that sixth sense, especially in this space, because no one wants to get scammed anymore, And I feel like I try and just kind of ring the authenticity true through my music, and I think it's worked so far.
Definitely agree. I've been rugged. I feel like a lot of people can say they've been rugged. I see it like a rite of passage, kind of. It's just like you have to get rugged to know how not to get rugged again. I just want to give a disclaimer that for anyone trying to look you up on Spotify, because people definitely should, don't look up Lowly, because I made that mistake. Look up Jacob Lee. That's how you find him, because Lowly's like some dubstep artist, which is pretty cool too. I found a good artist there. But Jacob Lee, right, Lowly? Lowly. I'm sorry, I've been saying it wrong. Lowly.
Yeah, it's Lowly, and I guess the alias has come from me, for some reason, having Lowly Lyricist in my head for years and years and years, and not knowing what to do with it. For some reason, I just love the term. It's like this little alias superhero character, and I felt like creating this ninja account where I'm not coming through as Jacob Lee, like, even though I am, and I'm not trying to hide who I am. I just felt like, for me, with my projects, I wanted to come through as someone who was starting from the beginning, just like everyone else. And so if I had a good project, that would speak for itself, instead of me going, well, I've got this amount of followers and I should see success from that and really pull upon that. I don't find that fun. I like the fact that I'm starting from scratch under this account. And if people want to know who I am and I sing and they find out that, I've done a lot within music, then that's cool. Like, there's no problems there. But I think it's nice coming through and creating projects which are completely brand new to everybody, and there's no stigma as to who I am or what I've done. It's just, is the project good, yes or no, and then you can follow along with it if you want to, But yeah, don't type in Lowly when you're looking for my music. Type in Jacob Lee, LEE, and you'll find me everywhere.
Definitely look them up. One thing I love about this space is that we can, for Foxy Talks at least, I try to get projects of different backgrounds and diversity and what they have going on. And then this is where I want to introduce ArcDev with NFTWorlds, who probably has the biggest project out of all of us. We've probably been in the space the longest, so I feel like we can all learn from what they got going on. I mean, you guys were a free mint, and your floor price right now is 0.6.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you talk to us about your project and what you got going on? Because you have a lot going on right now.
Yeah, sure. So NFT Worlds is it's one of those virtual world platforms similar to the Sandbox and Decentraland, but in many ways different. We're building on top of Minecraft as a platform just because it's like to date one of the most well received and biggest like creative ecosystem games. And with doing that, we don't have to worry about like making a fantastic game. We just have to worry about making a very well interconnected metaverse, adding the blockchain layer on top and making it so people can buy and sell stuff and play and trade in these games with blockchain connected tokens and stuff. And so that's what we're kind of trying to do. We started out as a free mint in October. It was October 5th or October 6th when minting happened. Minted out pretty quick, and we've just we just been building on the roadmap since. We just are trying to build out this great platform for both world owners to make great worlds that other players can hang out in, and also we have a lot of big NFT communities that are making worlds for their community and holders to hang out and play in.
Before I start bombarding you with questions, I just want to let everyone know again, if you guys have any questions for any of these projects, just be a speaker. If any of the projects, Outcomes, TensorVerse, Slowly, have any questions for anybody, just jump in, please. Don't make me feel like I'm the only one talking. But ArcDev, so regarding your project, so you talked about how it's built on Minecraft. So on your website, there's this really cool chart that talks about how you guys differentiate between Sandbox and Decentraland.
Yeah.
Can you talk to people who haven't seen that chart and just how you guys are different and probably maybe a little better than what they got going on right now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the Sandbox and the Decentraland are definitely more mature from the standpoint of they've been around for longer. But I think we have more tailwind to ride on in the sense that out of the box with Minecraft, we get so much for free on the engineering and development side as far as compatibility and playability. Like one of those things, I'm just going to go down this list in front of me. Like out of the box, we're compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux operating systems. The Decentraland is too, but the Sandbox right now, for example, is only available on Windows. We have a bridging layer that we've built that, like, pretty much Q1 of next year, you're going to be able to through the Minecraft game on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. So you're going to be able to play with people across all platforms pretty much immediately, just because that ecosystem has already built that out, and we can just leverage on top of it for free, pretty much. We have probably the easiest way to make content out of any Metaverse game, including Decentraland and Sandbox right now. It is literally the in-game Minecraft editor. It's what everyone's familiar with. It's what most people grew up on. It's what tens of thousands of people have built mods on top of and games on top of. So we just have a very large content ecosystem that we can drive with from the beginning. Another piece I think is important, I don't think people are very aware of it yet, is that all these Metaverse games right now, while the content and the purchasables and everything and the assets are, they're on NFTs and they're considered decentralized, the hosting servers for these games are still controlled by a centralized entity, meaning like if the Sandbox or Decentraland were to ever go offline in the future or be taken down or something were to happen or they just like cease service, like all these NFTs and things that you bought that are specific utility within their ecosystem, like you don't have that utility anymore. You can't use it within the game that it was for. Whereas we built an ecosystem where like the servers that run NFT Worlds is open sourced, and as a world owner, you can easily host it on any hosting provider in a fully decentralized manner. Meaning, like if we as the creators of NFT Worlds were to ever go down or something were to happen, like everything is there for a world to continue to be hosted and none of the perks to go away. And yeah, there's programmable layers and more technical stuff that we build in, but those are probably the biggest points.
You have a really cool video on YouTube that mentions a Lazy Lion area. We have a lot of Lazy Lion fans.
Yeah.
for projects like Lowly, Tensorverse, Outcomes, if anybody wanted to create a world in NFT Worlds, what would be the first step that a project would have to do?
Yeah, any project can create a world. You would just have to own an NFT world. You'd use, it's called the World Manager. It's a DApp that we have on our website. It tells you exactly how to get into your world and start building. If you're not the creative type, or you don't want to build like your own vision of what your world's going to be, which there are people like that, and that's why we have this builder marketplace where right now we have 20 of the top Minecraft builders in the world that you can go to and basically commission them out to build like the exact vision of what you want your community world to be like, and they'll do it for you. And then you automatically after that have this full community world that your community can play in, hang out in. They can make games for you in the world and all that sort of thing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I guess, and I'm sorry if you covered this already. Sorry, I'm like doing
Sure.
a million things.
Oh,
What are the biggest like differentiators with you guys? From like Decentraland or
yeah.
one of the Sandbox.
Yeah, I think the overall decentralization aspect, like I think we're probably the only first truly decentralized Metaverse game, just as far as like the server ecosystem goes. The other things that actually probably matter to most people though is like the creativity layer. It's so much easier. Like if you played Minecraft, like 10-year-old kids would have no problem building NFT worlds, stuff like that. Like the ecosystem's made for content of high quality to be pushed out because it's built on top of these tools that already exist. We know the game's proven. We know people love playing modded Minecraft. We know people love playing Minecraft in general. We don't have to make and iterate on a game. We just have to make the layers on top of it. And we already know people are going to like it just because of the history of Minecraft. And those are probably some of the biggest things.
That's awesome. So with the decentralization, basically, I guess every world owner or builder would have their own, I guess, server infrastructure.
Yeah.
Right. And so I guess it's like full redundancy. If anything ever happened with you guys, our world would still continue.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the exact reason. Like Web3 is all about the idea of decentralization, no party having full control over an ecosystem, and that's why I went that route.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
I have
one of the elements for us is sorry, Outcomes. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Please ask your question.
I was just like, so I don't know if it's my turn or not, but I'm going to go ahead. But so like in terms of like your PFPs, if you're an NFT project, is there already kind of set form for the character there that you have to use, or can you bring some element of your own project into your world?
Yep. Yeah. You can bring an element of your own project. So one of the communities we're already partnering with is Axo Littles. They're going to be one of the first few communities that's building their own 3D models that will be playable characters for their holders within NFT Worlds. And we'll be able to do that for any community. You just have to have a 3D model made to the standard that we have, and your holders can play as that character, and you can skin it to look like they're different.
Are those 3D models like based on the 3D model that you already have in place, and they're just kind of built around that, and so that they resemble the PFP?
Yeah. You have full.
I don't know if that's clear or not, but
I think I get what you're saying. You have full flexibility to make the models shaped to kind of match like your PFP project, right? Like a Kong is going to look different than like a Bored Ape, right? And you'd expect the model and the shape to look different, and then the textures on top to represent the different styles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. Cool.
Tensorverse, I think you were saying something before I cut you off earlier.
Oh, shit, I totally forgot, honestly. I think I was just mentioning that world building is definitely, an element of our project that we're going to be diving very, very deeply into, and it's great just to have another option. And, I think the way ArcDev just described it, man, I think that's like so money. That's perfect because obviously this whole thing's about decentralization and no point of failure, right? So I think that's a huge flaw in a lot of these potential solutions, and it sounds like they've definitely factored that into their metaverse, which is awesome, man. Props to you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
thank you.
I know, Lowly, since you've been in the space for so long, you bought your ape at $2,000. What's your perspective on the future of the metaverse? If Lowly's still here, if you can hear me, Lowly. He might have stepped away for a second. And I had another question for you guys. I have a bunch of questions actually. But so there's still time for recent buyers to get an airdrop. I noticed today that you mentioned there's going to be an airdrop for people who hold them. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like within the ecosystem, like from the beginning, we wanted the ability for world owners to make like experiences, games, a bunch of different things, and also have like a token pegged to it. So like, say a world owner makes a battle royale within their world or something like that, and players may want like upgraded items, like they'd be able to trade world token for that within the game. But with that world token, we're starting off with releasing it by doing an airdrop to world holders. So if you own an NFT World, we will be doing a snapshot later this month, and based on that snapshot, depending on this formula that we just released, you'll receive a certain number of world token. And yeah, from there in Q1 of 2022 is when all the multiplayer functionality and the ability to use world token in game and transact in game is going to start releasing. So it'll be usable pretty quickly.
That's awesome. So there's still time for people to benefit from that drop.
Yep.
You have another project that I mentioned or that I saw that was mentioned called Gray Boys. Is that completely different from NFT Worlds?
Yeah, Gray Boys is more I have a partner that I'm working on NFT Worlds with, and we started it together. He's an artist, UI, UX, game designer guy. I'd say that's more his brainchild, but we kind of co-created the utility on top of it. So Grey Boys ties back first into NFT Worlds, as they will be playable characters in NFT Worlds, and we expect them to release as the first type of project that has a playable character in NFT World, followed by like axolotls and stuff in the future. But the other side of the utility is we figured out with a DAO how to proxy the ownership of NFTs held by the DAO. So what that means is that there's a wallet that the DAO controls, and anyone who owns a Gray Boy has voting rights towards what new NFTs the DAO buys or sells. And through this proxied ownership utility we're going to release in the future, you'll be able to basically go through any of the owner verification processes for other projects, as if you owned an NFT from those projects, so long as the DAO holds an NFT from them. So what that means is, like, let's say like the Mutant Ape Yacht Club game just came out. If the Grey Boys DAO holds a Mutant Ape, we can proxy the rights of ownership and the verification down to all Grey Boys holders, such that they could go through the same verification process on the Mutant Ape like login or the Bored Ape login, wherever they did it, and play the game, stuff like that. So you get proxied utility.
That's so cool. That's awesome. One thing I wanted to ask for just all three of you, or for Kyle Comes, Metaverse, Lowly, and ArcDev, in terms of community engagement, or I think I already asked this for everybody. For community engagement, though, we're all trying to learn more how to grow as a project for your Discord and Twitter. How do you approach community engagement with your project? ArcDev.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to go. Yeah, so I think it's hard. Like, I've learned a lot in the NFT space in the last like 2-3 months since launching NFT World as the first project. I've had my eyes on the space for a while, but it seems like the cycle right now is that projects, they get all this hype behind them. The community grows, like the Discords are really, really active, and as soon as a project drops and like the initial hype dies off and like the backwards buy and selling after the OpenSea opens up after mint kind of happens, you lose probably half or more of your engagement like over the course of like a week, 2 weeks following. And so from there, it's like, how do you foster organic activity. And I think in NFT Worlds, we found that just by for us continuing to build and just trying to organically build, a tech product and a good ecosystem, it has organically brought back that activity and that hype that we kind of saw when we were minting. But every other project right after mint, the activity died. And maybe there are some projects that didn't die within the first couple weeks after, but to my experience, that's kind of what we've seen.
Definitely, I agree. Outcomes is a metaverse integration. Anything that you are considering for your project in the future, whether it's with NFT World or something else?
Well, so real quick, just to touch on the first question, and we're by no means an authority on this, but in terms of engagement, it does seem like there's some good ideas out there, and it just goes with collaborating with other communities. So we're having games nights. We're actually just going to have our first one with other communities, and there are 10 other communities involved. So that's really nice. And we have some high hopes for that in terms of just growing these relationships organically. Whenever possible. And then we just have we have a core group of friends basically that we're sticking with and that everybody's involved with. And then we have let's see, there's one other thing. I can't remember it actually. But I'll come back to it when I remember it. But in terms of Metaverse hopes, yeah, we're with Leap In. So we're going that route and trying to build places for artists in particular, where they can come and display their arts and sell their arts, whether it's music or some sort of visual representation of a plastic art. That's where we're headed. But then we have kind of sub communities that I've got 4 of the worlds, or our project does, and so each one is going to be designed towards some of the goals that we have, and we'll kind of go from there basically to see what people want, and to see what they can use, and how they can best represent what they have, and hopefully get people who are constantly unable to sell their stuff because of Ethereum prices, in terms of gas fees. Of course, Solana is different, and some of the other ones, but just give them a chance to have a space, and not just a space where they can display their works or play them live or whatnot, but also a place where they can sell them. So that's what we're going for, and just trying to bring artists together. That's one of our main things.
I agree, and anything that can bring projects together, I'm all for that. So that's awesome to hear. A Tentaverse question, same question for you. Any metaverse integration with NFT World or Sandbox for you? I know Tentaverse and Lowly are moving around the background. If you guys jump on, just give me an emoji so I know that you're there. But also at the same time, so Outcomes and ArcDev, question for you too. You guys mentioned collabs, ArcDev with Axolotls. I'll start with you, ArcDev. Besides Axolotls, are there any other collabs in the works that you can touch on, or anything that? Are you big on collabs? I guess is my question.
Yeah, the collabs that we kind of do is bringing more projects and NFT communities under kind of our umbrella to build out their worlds. There's been a lot so far with big projects and ones that are still planned. We just did a launch for Cryptodes. We have community worlds now for Lazy Lions. The Bored Ape one was more of a fan kind of tip off where they didn't really care, but it wasn't an official collab. I'd have to pull up the developed worlds. I think we have 11 or 12 NFT communities that have had worlds developed so far. And then I know there are, across our 20 or so verified builders right now, they are working probably with 15 to 20 other communities that are having their own worlds built out in anticipation for multiplayer soon.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to talk with our devs about Foxy Fam looking into getting one of those done, because I'm looking at the Lazy Lion one right now, and that's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Outcomes. Same question for you. Anything with collabs with other projects that you can name or in the works right now?
Well, we're very young. We won't mint for another month. But if you see Tyler there, he has a project of his own, the NFT Bike Club, and I'm just guessing. We're also good friends just in real life. So I think there's probably something in the pipeline there down the road. We're a featured world of Leap-In. So there's a couple projects there I'm talking to on a regular basis, getting things going there. But otherwise we're just, we're, like I said, we're very young. We're growing relationships, and we don't have anything particularly set in stone yet. So different ball game from the art devs of the world. But yeah, we have some good relationships, some sincere ones, and I won't be in the slightest surprised if things start to speed up a little bit.
Definitely. I mean, we're always down to help you collab. If you have any ideas of what to do, we're always here to help. I'm sure Lowly and Tentaverse will as well. And in ArcDev, I don't want to keep you too long because we're going well over the hour, but just some personal questions for a project. So to be in the space for so long, because we've been in space for so long as well. What is some advice that you would give to projects just starting out on how to keep the community active and engaged and looking forward to the next step?
Yeah, I think at this point, it feels like the first phase of NFTs was just like the projects that had really cool, unique art because there wasn't that much saturation across the space. Like, did really well and people were excited about. And now it feels like more that people are maybe getting a little bit tired of that. Not that they're not still looking for it, but it feels like utility and interesting mechanics and these like either play to earn experiences or just fun utility being built in a project seems to drive organic adoption. Like, I don't know if you've seen Pixelmon recently that came out, and it's like this idea of Pokemon, but in a metaverse, and they've made their own creatures and stuff. But like that garnered tons of organic growth. Like over the last just 3 days, I think they shot up like 15,000 followers just from previews of the game. And it's just an example of like utility and new fun experiences are probably going to yield really great engagement for new projects.
I did see that Pixelmon thing. At first it looked kind of, I don't know, ruggish to me, but I've seen the community grow. So in your eyes, do you think that's a legit project?
It could always be a rug, but like what their vision is and what they're offering supposedly, that's like what's getting the hype going. Whether they can deliver is another question entirely. But
yeah, definitely agree. Just want to again give the listeners an opportunity to come ask questions to any of these great projects up here. Outcomes, did you have any questions for NFTWorlds?
I think I asked most of them. I've been paying attention here for a little while. Definitely wish I'd gotten in on the free mint. Missed that. But so we like I said, we have some worlds over at Leap-In, and I think both of your projects offer different things, and I'm a big fan of both.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Congrats, on the most sincerest level. But no, not really. I think I asked. I'm mostly concerned about, or not concerned, but interested in, how much of our art we can bring into that world. It sounds like the utility is right there in terms of being able to trade, buy and sell things, which is awesome, and I have a feeling it's probably all pretty smooth. That's one question I have. Like, is that all functioning?
Yeah. So the like in-game transaction stuff is still being built out, but like the user experience and not having to deal with slow transaction times and fees and just like all the stuff that comes with like a typical layer 1 Ethereum type token.
Right.
We're definitely making sure that that's not going to be the case. Like, we've taken a lot of
my Wi-Fi is cutting out again, just in case you're talking to me. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're good. We're taking a lot of influence from like Axie Infinity and how they made the Ronin chain, and just looking at a solution that works out well in the long term.
And are people like building their own, I don't know, attributes or different, whether it be different swords or different, I don't know, houses or plants, and are they then,
Yeah.
offering?
So we're kind of seeing a little bit of everything already. I know, for example, on one end of the spectrum, there is a world owner that's building out like a full-scale casino, like in-game, based on the world token, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then we have some people that are making like full-scale like MMO RPG type adventure worlds, and like they're building out all this like content around items and things that you can get in the world and stuff like that. So I guess to answer the question, yeah, we're kind of seeing it all.
Yeah.
I got Lowly with his hands up. We were back. We were talking to you earlier, but I think he stepped away. What's going on, Lowly?
Hey man, yeah, I'm back. Sorry, it's been fucking ballistic here. Just my parents arrived out of the blue, and so I've been trying to keep one AirPod in to listen, and also make sure that they don't hate me. But I've been listening as best as I can with the conversations I've been having outside of the space. And ArcDev, your project is beyond anything that I've seen. I love it. I actually believe I saw it just after Mint, and I was inspired, and I think I shared it in my Discord actually to let people know that this thing was happening.
Oh, awesome.
It's interesting to me because one of the projects I didn't mention, and I won't go into it, but it's a project in which one of my main roadmap goals, if not my major goal, is to actually create a universe. And so I say universe because obviously I don't have the means to create a metaverse, but I've been looking for the right area in which I can create something for my listeners, my project supporters, anyone who wants to be involved, to hang out and share themselves within a digital landscape like that. And so hearing that yours is completely decentralized is a real positive. I feel like it takes away the anxiety that a lot of people would have if something like Decentraland or Sandbox did disappear off the face of the earth, because you lose so much money within that and all the time you've put into developing something. So I think what you're creating is something really special. And I would love to DM you potentially and just ask some more questions when I've got a bit more time to learn more about your project and how to, how people build within it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Please, anytime DM me. For anyone, I always say I've said on Twitter, my DMs are open. I happily answer questions. But yeah, I think it'd be a good fit for you guys.
Hell yeah. My goal is to create a garden, a really beautiful dystopian cyberpunk type garden, which things have been broken and there's old cities and old buildings and the grass and the trees have kind of overgrown everything. And I want to have venues and libraries and galleries in the midst of it and all of that. And so that's a very ambitious goal that I have that I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually do that. But
I think you can do it,
that's
man.
kind of my
I think
goal.
you can. I'll when you DM me, just remind me. We just had one of our communities build the Metaverse world, and it's this dystopian kind of factory-like world with mechas and stuff all around it. And it's amazing, and it I can show you what you can do with it, and you'll probably like it. It might be in line with what you're thinking.
And I mean,
Nice one. Sounds good.
Thank you for, and your parents are there. Thank you for, sticking with us. I'm not trying to drag it on too long. I just want to get Tentaverse a second to chime in before we start closing off. But any plans for Metaverse integration with Tentaverse?
Yeah, first let me just say I'm sorry I got rugged. I had a phone call come in and I ignored it, and then I just couldn't hear anyone after that. So my bad.
No worries.
I also just want to say ArcDev will be DMing you too. Your platform sounds freaking awesome. You guys build it. Good work.
Yeah, please do. I like helping everyone, so I'm always open.
Yeah, that's great.
I'd love to quickly just say prior to you going, I might jump down just so I don't disappear off the face of the planet again. I hate that. Foxy, I would love to come in any room that you're in and hosting again. I really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely have more time to actually be more engaged in the chat. But thank you for letting me up anyway, and it's been awesome getting to meet you guys and share my project and hear about everyone else's. So yeah, lots of love.
Thank you, Lily, for taking the time and joining me. Definitely reach out to you sometime soon. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Loli.
Yeah, thanks. See you.
Catch you later.
Peace. I just want to quickly acknowledge or give a shout out to some OG you guys seen here from our Discord, like OGs. So Rocco, Lewis, and Yaskman, what's up? I see you guys. Thank you for being here. Kat, obviously, thank you. So look, our goal, right, is to basically fuse our lore with gamification, right, and basically wrap that around with some utility and tokenization with our ink token. So that's what we're working on this week in our smart contract with our lead dev, is exactly the mechanics of how we're going to do that. We have some really, really cool ideas. And the land is definitely going to be a part of that, an integral part of that, I think, in the future. So even more reason to start conversations, I think, with ArcDev and see how that's possible. The fact, obviously, that there's no point of failure for us is huge, right? There's no 100% reliance on something like a hosting platform or whatever. So we're all about it, man. And look, essentially, the way I look at it, at least personally, right, is NFTs are just a predecessor to a long-term and sustainable business. I know a lot of people don't look at it that way, but I do, right? It's just basically a funding mechanism to continue to deliver value to your community and scale and grow and be sustainable. And that's kind of how we're looking at it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, we kind of look at it the same way.
Yeah, for sure. So that's our goal, right? Is obviously this is going to evolve. This is going to get way cooler. We're at the early stages, but we have a rad community. We have some insane announcements coming up here shortly. So, and we absolutely love and adore our community.
Everyone listening, please make sure to follow all of these projects and everything that they got going on. Thank you so much, everybody, for even coming on and taking the time out of the night. I try to do it an hour, but we went over an hour 30, which is great because we just learned more about everything going on. ArcDev, thank you for showing up at all. I mean, I thought you were ignoring me, but I know.
No, I'm so sorry about that again. Just our social person didn't message me.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you for even coming out. And if you guys ever want to come on Spaces and talk about what you got going on, please feel free to DM me. You guys know my DMs are also always open. Thank you again for taking the time. If you have any questions or if we can help you in any way, also reach out to us. And hope you have a good rest of your night. Be safe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you, everyone.
See you guys. Love it. Thanks
Guys.
for having us.
Of course.
Yep.
Cool.
See you guys. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet everyone. Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Talk
Bye.
soon. Bye.
See you.